Now in the next part we are going to talk about strings and how we can put numbers like integer numbers or float numbers into a string and how to control the number of digits after the dot in the floats and so on. So it is all about a string formatting. Although we've talked about strings at the beginning of the tutorials, but we're going to talk about them once more time. This time focusing on the integers and floats and other kinds of variables that we want to put in between a string and how we can do that. So I can call the new file a string format, string format.py, and here I can define a new string equals, and for example I can say that my dog is, and then we have curly brackets, then we can enter the age of my dog. So my dog is years old, and here before the string we can also define a new variable called age, and here I can enter an integer, for example 7. So here we want to put in 7, which is an integer inside of a string. So here if I write age in between here, that's going to be a wrong way. So we use another attribute for formatting inside of a string. So the string.format is the function that we're going to use. So we can print out the new string dot format, which is a function that we're going to use for the strings, and then we can write age here, age. And so let's run our code to see if this one new string will contain age, which is a number inside of these curly brackets. So Python 3 string format.py, and as you can see 7 is placed inside of this string instead of the curly brackets, and that's how we've managed to put an integer inside of a string. There are other methods like using %, which is not very much recommended, especially in Python, because of a more advanced subject called SQL injection, and that is a very different part from this part of the tutorial. Is all about hacking and security, but a more standard and secure way of putting an integer inside of a string is using the format function. So imagine that we have other variables like a float number. So for example, we want to know the weight of that dog, so I can define a new variable, call it weight, and I'm not sure how much a dog at the age of 7 really weighs, but here I can, for example, define 8. So anyway, I can write his weight as a variable and define a new string and say he weighs, and then we can have again curly brackets, open and close curly brackets, and he weighs kilograms. And then we can again use his weight dot format format function, and then inside of it we can write weight. Okay, so here I'm going to print out, I'm going to run the function one more time, and as you can see here, because here it was integer, so let me change it to float. So for example, he's exactly 8.36 kilograms. So let us do this again. As you can see, we have just the same float as we have defined. So imagine there are the number that has been given is very precise. So we have other digits after dot here, and suppose that here we only want to get only two digits after the dot or point. So what do? We need to write something in the curly brackets. So to do that, we can write colon and 2f. F here is for float and 2 is for the 2 digits of the float that is needed here. So first of all, let us print this one. As you can see here, we have got all the digits instead of the 2 digits. So what's the problem with it? Let me check this out. Okay, here we're missing a dot after a column. The column here. So as you can see, we need to have a dot here. So let's run it one more time, and as you can see here, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 digits, we have 2 digits, 8.36. And as simple as that, we can control the number of digits. So for example, if I write 3, we will get only 3 digits, and there we go, 336, 363 actually. So there we go, and we can do this even for integers. So for example, this number is an integer, 8 kilograms, but here we want 3 digits after it, 3 zeros after 8. So there we go. We can see 3 zeros after 8. So that it means that the dog is exactly 8 kilograms. So now imagine that we have a number of variables inside of the string, not only one, we have a number of variables and we want to format it inside of the string. So those variables are age, weight, and we don't have a parameter like height for dogs, but imagine we do it for a child. So for example, here we have age of, or I can say, let's do this for the dog, and let us consider height for him. So for example, the dog's height is 36 centimeters. So not sure if this is appropriate, but I'm just writing it. And then we're going to describe the dog. So dog description. So the dog description equals quotation mark, and then we can write my dog is curly brackets years old. He weighs, and then curly brackets with 2 digits. So 2f for the float, and his height is, and then we have curly brackets. So because we want it to be precise and accurate, but because this is centimeters, accuracy doesn't really matter, so we want it to be probably 1 digit. So we can write f, and here we need to have dot for this one as well. So, and here we can write centimeters. So here we have three variables. We want to print out this string, and we want to also have the formatting. So dot format, and then we have parentheses. So we have three variables: age, weight, and height. So age, weight, and height here. So let's see what happens. So we seem to have a problem here: age, weight, and height. Okay, let's see. Format specifier missing precision. So probably it's because of this one. So let me do it one more time. So there we go. We needed this number as well. So we wanted, the problem was that we didn't know how many digits after the point we needed. So here the precision was needed. Okay, here we've got my dog is 7 years old, his weight is 8.0, and his height is his weight is 8.0 kilograms, and his height is 36 centimeters. So I need to also fix this one, kilograms, and save this, run it, and there we go, it's been fixed. And if you notice here, we only have had numbers inside of these curly brackets, but we can also format another string inside of this string. So for example, the dog has a friend. So the dog has a friend, and I want to add his friend here. The name of his friend, name of friend here, so equals that one, equals, and let me fix the variable. There we go. And the name of the friend is, for example, James. So I can add and his friend's name is, then here I can also add the friend's name here inside of the parentheses. If I do that and run the function one more time, you can see that his friend's name is James. So what this does, what the format function does here, is to reformat all of the variables into a string. This is just the same as changing the format of the variable into a string by writing str or the str function, and inside of the parentheses we can write the variable that we want to convert to string. So we want to convert, for example, weight, which is 8, to a string. We can write str weight, and then 8 will be converted into a string. Then I can use plus, my dog is plus weight, which is converted into a string, plus weight, plus years old, he weighs plus, and then we have the variable that is converted to string, which is his weight. And we can do this for all of the other variables, age, weight, and the name is also a string. And so this is a kind of function that we can write it by ourselves without even needing the format. But because this is a built-in function and it's prepared for us, there is no need for writing that kind of function. So that's it. There are also times that we have keywords, a lot of keywords and values like a dictionary, and then we want to we don't know the order of these variables that we want to put in this kind of text. So for example, there are hundreds of keys and values. We know the name of the keys, but we do not know what is their order we need to count a lot of numbers in order to see what is their order, so that we can write them in the curly brackets and choose those ones. So in those circumstances, we can write the name of the key inside of these curly brackets, and then we get the values. So for example, here we have age equals, and then inside of the quotation mark we have 9. The weight equals 5. And again, I say that these numbers are arbitrary. I have no idea if they're right or wrong. I'm just writing them accidentally, so don't care about the numbers. 38, and the name of the friends is, for example, Kim. So let me save this. And okay, here we also need to write the keywords. So here is the age, my dog is, and write the age, write the keyword, then the weight. So here I can write the weight, and here I can write the height, and then we can have the name of the friend. And also notice that if I change the order, we won't have any problem. So here I want to change the order. So for example, his friend's name comes first, but because we have written the keyword here at the end here in the last one, and for others as well, there wouldn't be any problem. But if we didn't have these keywords and values, and we only had the name of the variables, then we would have faced a wrong sentence with the wrong variables places, or we had to write the order of the variables that we wanted to write here. So for example, if we didn't have keys, only the variables, and the name of friends was here, I should have written 0 here or 1 here. Okay, here, let me just test this one and see if the result changes. My dog is 9 years old, his weight is 5 kilograms, and his height is 38 centimeters, and his friend's name is Kim. So everything is alright, although given the fact that we've changed the order of these variables, everything is alright. So, and the reason is that we've written the keywords inside the curly brackets. So imagine that we don't have these keywords and values, and then we have changed the order. So what do we do here? And as I've just mentioned earlier, what we do is to write the order. So this one is the second one. For that, I write 1. So the second one, because it starts from 0, second one is 1. So age is 1, weight is 2, height is 3, the third one, and height is the actually fourth one, so we have 3 for it. And name of friend, the name of friend is the first one. So for that, I write 0 here in the curly brackets. So let me save this and run project. My dog is 7 years old, and the reason it changes from 9 to 7 is that the variable was 7 here, but when we wrote the keywords, the keyword equaled 9, so don't worry about that. He weighs 8 kilograms and his height is 36 centimeters, and his friend's name is James. So even that way we can consider the order of these variables, and we don't need to be worried about the order.